What's up, guys? It is Dave from PC Collective. Here is here's my build guide on the Witchdoctor I'm running this season. I got to Paragon 230 already with this, and I'm able to run Torment 8 Rifts with subpar gear. So we'll just jump right into it here. So for the weapon, you need a Scrimshaw. And I'll go for the skills first, sorry. So the primary, you're not going to be using enough mana that you need a mana generator, so you can just use this, Firebomb Pyrogeist. It'll create these three little, it'll create three little flaming tower thingies, and they spew at enemies, so it's a really high, good single target damage. Then your right click will be Zombie Chargers, Zombie Bears, which I'll get into why we picked this in a bit. Then Q, use Spirit Walk. The rune doesn't necessarily matter. I have a mojo that lets me stay in it basically forever, so I'm using Healing Journey. I just found out that Healing Journey is better, but we can use Jaunt for the build video. Because I actually put on a Molten Wildebeest Gizzard. So we'll use that. Then your W, Soul Harvest Languish. This is a great rune. It gives 30% more armor and reduces the movement speed of harvested enemies by 80%. So this is just the all-around good thing. You get 3% intelligence for each affected enemy. So 15% intelligence buff means 15% little damage buff. You get a toughness buff because of all resist because of intelligence. So Soul Harvest, Languish. On your E, Piranhado. This is your crowd control rune, and it is a damage buff. So Piranha summons a pool, and the enemies affected take 15% increased damage. So, and the Piranhado, it sucks in enemies towards a little vortex that you make. So this is great for crowd control, and you get a damage buff on top of it. Your R, which is one of the main things of this build, is Wall of Death, Firewall. Raise a 40-yard wide, 8-second long burning wall. Take 1100% weapon damage as fire over 4 seconds. So that's that for the main skills. Now for passives, this is kind of interchangeable. Swampland Attunement. I was having trouble with toughness, so you can also use You can also use Gruesome Feast. This will be a big damage and a little bit of toughness buff. But Swampland Attunement gives you a lot of it, so I'm going to be using that. Then secondly, Pierce the Veil. All your damage is increased by 20%, but your mana costs are increased by 30%. So, again, mana isn't a problem with this build, so this just gives you a flat-out good damage buff. Spirit Vessel, this is your get out of jail free card. Every time you receive fatal damage, you automatically enter a spirit realm for 2 seconds and heal for 50% life. Also reduce the cooldown of spirit spells, so Spirit Walk is 10-second cooldown instead of 12. Then next one is Confidence Ritual. You're going to be getting up close and personal within the 20 yards to practice, so you get 25% additional damage to enemies. Then back to the items. So those are all the skills. To the items, you have a Scrimshaw, reduces the mana cost of a Zombie Charger by 50%. Also, it usually rolls with a high Zombie Charger damage roll, so I got 77% on this one. So when you do your bears, that'll be real good. So this is good for the bears. Now the mojo, I prefer Thing of the Deep, but I've just been using Shukrani's Triumph because it's the best thing that I have for a mojo right now. So, Thing of the Deep, you want, it's the frog-looking thing. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. Then for bracers, you want Jerome's Bracers. Wall of Death deals 100% increased damage. This one rolled at 90. And can be cast up to 3 times within 2 seconds before the cooldown begins. So these are essential to the build. Like I said, Mojo is kind of interchangeable. Thing in the Deep is probably the best. But when you're doing speed clears, this Spirit Walk thing, it just lets you sprint around the whole map forever until you find enemies. So that's what I've been doing, just speed clearing. So there's bracers, the belt, you want a witching hour. I got a firebomb damage roll on mine, so for that. Then armor, you get the 6-piece Helltooth set. So 2 set, enemies hit by your primary skills, all of those, are affected by necrosis, becoming slowed, taking 1500% weapon damage every second, and taking 20% increased damage from all sources for 10 seconds. After 4 set, after applying necrosis to an enemy, you take half damage for 10 seconds. And the 6th set, after casting Wall of Death, gain 900% increased damage for 15 seconds to your primary skills. And in this case, we're looking for the Zombie Charger and Piranhas part of it. And so that's Helltooth. Then for the rings. Now, here's the thing, I don't have the rings that I want. The rings you should use are Focus and Restraint, but I don't have Restraint yet, so the rings that I'm using are not the ring you should be using. So, I do Torment 8 with subpar gear. I mean, this Scrimshaw is pretty decent for a non-ancient, but, you know, with full gear you should be able to push 60 plus, and that's what people are pushing with this build. So, last I checked, Thingy was on top with a 63 Grift. So, the ring I am using is Leoric's Signet. It's just for bonus experience. And then we'll get to the Convention of Elements. So, when you have Focus and Restraint, you want to Kanai Cube the Convention of Elements. And so that's for the rings. The amulet, I prefer a Hellfire amulet. If you don't have a Hellfire amulet, maybe do like an Exfurian amulet, any type of immunity amulets, like immune to poison, gain health instead, type amulets. Otherwise, you want a Hellfire. I get the Creeping Death passive on this Hellfire I rolled today, so it makes Piranha's damage buff last forever. And then for the Kanai Cube, you use, I got a Furnace, which is right here. The Furnace increases damage against elites by 50%. Then I got a Grin Reaper, chance to attack summon horrific mimics that cast some of your equipped skills. So when I'm doing zombie bears like this, these 2 skeletons pop up, and we'll also cast your Firebomb and your Zombie Charger and Piranado. They also cast these 4 basically. So that's pretty much needed to really speed clear, because they really add up your damage. Now for this, I have a Star of Azkaranth, but right here should be the Convention of Elements. But since I don't have Focus and Restraint, I have that Immunity Amulet in there. So yeah, that's this is the skills and items. I guess I'll go ahead and show you a Rift. This is on Torment 8. We're going to go open up a Nephilim. You can cast the Wall of Fire every time, but I'm lazy, so I set it to auto cast, which I have a video on how to do, by the way. So I do that. Then let's run in here. Let's not get that pylon to show off how this build works. So I usually start off with a Piranado. Then you do a couple of those, and then once you get the buff from your wall, your chargers should just like clear house. So as you can see, it's just like I'm getting in the 500,000s crits. Oh, I didn't talk about the little things. I'm running a Bane of the Powerful and a Bane of the Trapped. And then the other one, I am using a molten wildebeest gizzard because I was having toughness problems and survivability problems. So that's what I'm running, but you don't have to run it. And as you can see, it's just like melting through stuff. Now I will show you a little trick here. Okay, so see how, let's go over here to show you. So see how the bears are like this? Oops, are like this. They spawn behind you, and they're kind of just unruly in general. If you have your body touching a wall, they'll spawn in front of you, and they'll run further. So, placement, when you're running into groups of enemies, you like stop on a wall and then go like that. So that's just something you can benefit from, just how you place your body. So I'll show you a little more of the rift. Remember pop soul harvest when you can. I mean, it just melts through stuff. I was doing speed 35 griffs with my friends, and they're pretty much just support monks, and I was the DPS. So, oh, we got a teddy bear and a flower rift. Nice. So yeah, that's the build. Let me know if this helped you and any changes you would make to it. I'd love to hear from you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Happy rifting.